Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Week 2 lecture series for the Principles of Lighting workshop. This week we'll be discussing character lighting. For this first section of the lecture, I just kind of want to discuss some basic ideas and just some personal theories about the my feelings towards character lighting and some things that have benefited me in the past before we got into the actual Maya and lighting the character. So the first main element, there are two main elements that I feel are most important in terms of overall character lighting. The first is shaping. Obviously, like anything else, you want to create good visual shape. But I'm going to be talking to you guys about a specific shaping method called Rembrandt lighting, which was made popular by Dutch Renaissance painters. And the second main element to good character lighting that I feel is making the character pop. What I mean by that is getting the character to stand off in the background, because more often than not, the character is the driving force in whatever it is you're lighting. So you 9 times out of 10 are going to want them to kind of stand out from the background and garnish, and really be the center of attention for the audience. So Rembrandt lighting. What Rembrandt lighting is it's a lighting method that emphasizes shape, and the main light source is generally at probably a 45 degree to 90 degree angle off to the side of the subject, and as you can see here, it creates a. I'm gonna escape out of this so I can use my cursor. As you can see here, it creates a really nice shaping across the head, across the bridge of the nose, into this gentleman's beard, down around his body. So again, we've got the light source kind of coming in from here and creating this effect. One thing that kind of gives it away as being Rembrandt lighting is that you will often see a triangle on the side of the face opposite the key or the main light. This is a shadow cast from the nose, and again, obviously that's only going to be on humans with our specific nose shape. But again, you'll find a lot of roll off left to right, top to bottom, just a lot of good visual shaping in this method. But again, that's the idea, is that you've got this kind of side key light coming in and creating this shaping here. Again, I used this image previously, but you can see here from 12 Angry Men, that you're getting good visual shaping across him here. You've got kind of the triangle pattern forming here on the side that's opposite the key. But again, it's all about, like, nobody's ever going to see it, but what people are going to see is just this nice roll off across his nose, down through his forehead. Again, we've got the this from J. Edgar, key light coming in from screen right, wrapping around his forehead, down through his face, these kinds of things. Again, I'm going to use Mad Men again. Just good kind of Rembrandt lighting. This isn't quite the triangle, but it's in that ballpark a little bit, and you can see the same type of motivation. So these are the things that we're going to be looking at and striving for when we're doing our own character lighting. And again, we've got Puss in Boots here. Even though he's not a human, idea of light being pushed. It's, again, you don't want to go too frontal with it. You don't ever want your character to become flat. Otherwise, it'll look like they're taking their driver's license photo, and that's never a good thing. Another main element that I want to talk about is just making the character pop. We can go back into this mode here. So, making the character pop is basically just getting the character to stand off from the background. There are different ways of doing that. The obvious way is to make him or her, the main character, just brighter and kind of a brighter, more contrasty subject over a darker background is usually the it's a pretty common method. It's the kind of the go-to. You've got in this photograph here. You can see that the the character is obviously brighter, so she's going to your eye kind of goes right to her. And a good way of testing this, if you're not really sure where your focus is, something that I often do, and I learned this from being a photographer, is if you squint at the image, the brightest area of the image is usually where you want your focus to be. So if you squint at it, you notice that all of the tonal values kind of go in, and I cheated to show you guys. So I just blurred this image to kind of exemplify this. So you can see right in the middle where her face is generally the brightest part of the image. There's that hot spot on the countertop there from the reflection of the light bulb, but generally speaking, her face really does kind of garnish, again, the most attention there. We're just kind of shooting for that. So again, one main method is just light character over a slightly darker background, and kind of pulls them forward and allows them to get the attention. Another one that I'm showing here is you can use color balance. You can do warm over cool or cool over warm, and that will also make the main object, kind of pop off from the background a little bit. This is Amelie. It's the same actress as the woman photographed in the other one. This is a nice, they're sitting in this movie theater. The characters are getting this nice cool light, but she's sitting on these warm red chairs, and she's able to kind of pop forward because of that a little bit and stand off from that little bit of color difference. And again, whenever you look at this Van Gogh portrait, his beard really stands out. It's because everything else in the image is very nice and cool and lots of cool tones, except for his kind of fiery red beard, which pops off, not because it's particularly brighter than anything else, but because of the color and the warmth versus the coolness. And I couldn't not put this in there when I was finding it when I was looking for reference. So same deal, warm character over a nice cool background. So something else I wanted to bring up to you guys real quick is I just wanted to cover some brief lighting terminology that we're going to be using throughout this course, in terms of not only character lighting but for environment lighting and moving forward from here. And I just wanted to discuss it a little bit with you guys so that we're all on the same page in terms of what we're talking about. So this is a diagram of a lighting setup from a studio, and this is fairly common. Let me close out of this so I can use my pointer. So we've got the camera right here, and we've got your subject right here in the middle. The first light that we're going to be talking about often is the key light, and it's the key light or the main light. And what that is it's just that it's the main illumination source for your image. If you're outside on a bright sunny day, it's the sun. It could be the moon. It could be the nearby interior lamp. But whatever it is, it's the main driving light source in the shot. So that's the key light when we talk about that. The fill light. The fill light is going to be a light that exists counter to the key light. If it does not have the same intensity value, but it will. It's meant to balance a little bit of the light coming from the key side. So it's not quite such a stark difference between these two things. The third light that in the 3-point lighting setup that is very common, that we're stealing this terminology from, is this rim light or backlight or hair light. You hear it called many different things. Its purpose is to also separate the character from the background by giving a little bit of an outline rim. And again, we're going to be talking about these more. I'm going to show you guys these more, but again, I just wanted to familiarize yourselves with the terminology. In addition to these real-world lights, we're going to be talking a little bit about bounce lights. Bounce lights are not necessary in the real world because they happen naturally as light comes in off the screen here and hits this red card. Red values will naturally bounce back onto this white surface. But in computer graphic lighting, in what we do, lots of times that doesn't, unless you're using a very expensive rendering method that calculates indirect light bounces or radiosity, you're not going to be seeing that. So lots of times you'll put like a little red light in here that simulates this red bounce. So again, I just wanted, this is kind of bounce light, and again, or here's an example of a before and after to kind of show the realism in it. So this is a before 3D still, and then after. It's a little over the top on the after, but it just gives you an idea of the light coming in through this window, hitting this bright saturated purple rug, and then that light then going throughout the rest of the room there. Um, so that's all I wanted to cover for this first bit. We're going to be getting a lot more into other stuff. I'll show you guys here. We've got this is Simon. This is the character that we're going to be working with for the remainder of this for the remainder of week 2. So yeah. So that being said, you guys are more than welcome to use your own character for this assignment, but you will find him in the asset library if you want to go through this while you're going through the lecture, and you can practice while we're doing it. But at least we wanted to give you at least one character option to choose from, so that you can immediately start lighting. So the next topic we're going to be talking about placing the key light. So I'll see you then.